Hey, you beautiful twin flames, and welcome back to Tarot for You 444. I'm so delighted you could join me for this audio channeling, and I am guided to just do audio channelings at this time. We're coming through some interesting energies astrologically, and also the twin flame collective is, I don't know if I want to say vulnerable at this time, but it's this vulnerability that is being felt, and the divine feminine is definitely connecting to herself on a deeper level than she ever has before. And I think that the separation for many of you has been daunting in the past, but you're coming to the realization also that there really is no separation, and you are in fact your twin flame and they are you. So this is something that can be told to you over and over again. I'm just shuffling the cards as I speak, but this is something that you can be told over and over again, not to worry, that your twin flame is you and you are them. On a spiritual level, you have the same soul, etc. But for the divine feminine right now, there really is this knowing that there is something bigger at play than she can possibly understand. There is this kind of reward that she gets when she trusts God or the universal power or the source energy. And I don't really want to call it divine timing, but I do want to call it a knowing in her heart that, there is definitely something bigger than herself in this world. So I don't particularly want to focus too much on the divine feminine. Most of you are divine feminine already, and as you are listening to this, you're very interested in what's going on with the masculine. I may bring in a few points of the feminine, but I'm primarily channeling here so that we can understand what's going on with the masculine. The divine feminine, in fact, many of you feel that there's been some kind of concealment on the masculine's behalf. Why isn't the affection as much? Why isn't the want to communicate as often? Or why does it feel different? So let's take a look now at the masculine in the 3D energy as it stands. We have him looking out into the future here with the Two of Wands. He's in a very feminine energy right now. He's feeling a lot of love, and he's understanding that within this separation time, whether that's one day or 1 week or 1 month or longer, he's realizing that the divine feminine is the star, is the light that has been there the whole time, and he's trying to now move towards her, energetically speaking. Many of the masculines have had issues with money or resources, or both, and this has made them feel not worthy of the connection, because in their mind, in their 3D mindset, they truly want to bring enough. So then we have the truth of, wow, opening up the heart to the truth here, whilst also in this Nine of Swords energy, which is feeling wounded because they perhaps don't have too much to offer. In the divine masculine's mind, they kind of feel like the divine feminine is doing, well without them, like tickety boo. It's like, they're fine. they're tickety-boo without me, everything's going great. Even if I work 12-hour days and, I'm not going to probably meet up to her expectations. It's interesting how the divine masculine is holding on to this idea of money and putting his worth around love and attaching it to monetary things. He only feels like a knight. He doesn't feel like a king. He doesn't feel like he's got everything he needs yet. And so this has caused him some conflict in the mind and also some sadness. In the 3D mindset, of course, many people believe that they need a certain amount of money before they get married, or they need a certain amount of resources before they even date someone. So when we're talking about a physical loving union from the divine masculine, he's really associating this with money. He's like, I'm not worthy unless I have this amount. I don't feel like I can come to you in all of my glory unless I've got some things to give to you. So for many divine masculines, they're going to be holding on to this love language idea of, giving gifts, or giving, some kind of treasury, or some kind of, treasure to their divine feminine. And if they can't do that, sometimes this is what keeps them away. I'm kind of even getting, if I can't even afford to buy her some flowers or take her out to dinner, or, on a holiday or something like that, then I don't feel worthy of her. And so what he's doing is he forgets that the divine feminine here loves him anyway. This is what he fails to realize, is that she's not about the money. She's not about the resources or his connections to things. So let's see what else he wants to say now. I'm just gathering up the cards and reshuffling, see if any of those cards come out again. Very interesting that he's tying love in with money. And the divine feminine, of course, isn't really fazed about this, because as she grows spiritually, she understands that although we need money in the physical 3D tangible world, that it's not necessary, that can be something that they can do together. But this is what he's attaching to his self-worth right now. Yeah, this building of wealth. So we have the Three of Pentacles here, also denoting that for some of you there is a third party situation in the way. Maybe it is a money issue. Perhaps it's an issue where one or both of you are with other people. There could be a job or a location in the way, or some cultural difference. Perhaps even an age gap. Here we have the Ten of Cups, and in this particular card, I'm using another different deck than the Rider-Waite deck. It shows 10 candles, and they're all lit in a very dark room. This is him understanding that the love that he has for the feminine cannot be blown out, cannot be muted, cannot be muffled. Then we have the Lovers and the Empress. Wow, oh wow, he sees her in such a wonderful giving light. She is a giver, she is a nurturer, she is someone who can sustain me in mind, body and soul. Now many of you are at a distance, which is, a location at the other side of the world perhaps, or in or it feels like they're a world away, you know, even if they're close by in terms of location, it can feel like this union may be a world away because of things there. So he also wants to say that he has been focusing on how he can make this happen in his actual tangible world. So, you know, he's like, how can I gather my money together? How can I gather my courage together? How can I not bring this connection any drama? I don't want to bring it drama. I want it to be fruitful. I want it to be, you know, like planting a seed and it growing. He only wants to grow this connection. And for many of them, they're only having this realization now, which is coming and trickling down into the 3D. But many divine feminines are beginning to feel their masculines, you know, in that 5D space again. Although the masculine has been quite silent recently. So when he pulls his energy away, the divine feminine truly feels that, because she feels empty and lonely. And even when she tries to tap in, it's like there's a block between the connection. So what else does he want to add here? The energy is very, very beautiful, very balanced and very pure coming from the masculine, even though he's attaching love and money. Many masculine energies don't feel safe in the world if they don't have money or resources that they can go to. Okay, so here we go. We're ready now. Yeah, he's been staying away and also hoping that the divine feminine's not going to be angry with him. He's trying to create justice in his own world. He wants to bring you something tangible. Many of them who are at a distance of location are thinking about how they can come across the ocean to you. They're daydreaming about that, in fact. What a beautiful energy. Now, the divine masculine is also seeing himself as a fool for love. For many of them, this is a scary place to be because they know that they can't come back from this. They know that this connection is more than they could have ever imagined. And they know that the divine feminine is very wise. There's this wisdom in the divine feminine and this groundedness that they know they can't find in anybody else. And so they're solidly wanting to come together. But they are still a little bit, I don't want to use the word sorry because it's not that bad, but they just don't quite feel as though they've got enough to bring. And they're not even realizing that the divine feminine doesn't really worry about this. So there's this blessed energy here of the divine feminine in touch with her own self. It's that kind of, it's that beautiful energy where she takes care of herself, and she also is humble. She has humility, and she has this sacred reverence to her own spirituality or her own religious practices. As she continues to go within, she has this knowing that everything's going to be all right. And the divine masculine here is feeling that. He's feeling the safety of the feminine, even if they're at a distance from one another. He's feeling as though he can be shrouded in her love. In fact, the warmth that she shows him ignites him. the warmth that she gives him allows him to go out into the world and do what he needs to do to bring this to fruition. Because ultimately the divine feminine leads the journey with her energy and with her essence, and this enables the masculine to come to her. It's a very beautiful energy right now. In fact, the cards are showing beautiful hues of blue and peach colors together. So it's kind of like the sunset, you know. I'm getting that feeling of sunset where clouds meet the sun at the end of the day. There's this calmness and this knowing that everything will be all right. I don't know if you've ever seen the musical Jesus Christ Superstar, or you may have heard of it, but try not to get worried, da 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 da, problems that upset you. Don't you know everything's alright? Yes, everything's fine, and we want you to sleep well tonight. It's actually a really beautiful song. And then she goes, close your eyes, and relax, think of nothing tonight. And then in the background, you know, there's the other singers saying, everything's alright, yes, everything's fine. And it goes on for a while, this everything's alright, everything's fine. So it's this beautiful goddess energy saying, try not to be worried, try not to let problems upset you. Don't you know everything's going to be alright? And it's the feminine's essence and her loving nature and her nurturing that brings this energetically to the masculine, and it allows him to go to work if he has to go to work, or, you know, face that karmic if he has to face that karmic. It gives him hope, it gives him clarity, and it gives him the energy he needs to continue without her, even though he really misses her a lot. This Lovers card here is very, very beautiful, and although they can't be together right now, for whatever reason that may be, obviously each and every twin flame journey is different, but for, you know, if it's a locality difference or there's some blocks in the way of union, there's still this feeling that, you know, try not to get worried, da 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 da. Don't you know everything's alright? Yes, everything's fine, and I want you to sleep well tonight. You can almost feel the lightness of the divine feminine's essence singing to him. You know, it's why I'm guided to sing, because it's, you know, even though it might be a little bit low in parts for me, it's the essence that she has for him. So, you know, it's that, I don't know, let's say your best friend decides that he's going to be a clown at children's parties and he's really crap, and he goes and does it anyway. It's the enthusiasm that she has for him. It's that underlying love and gratitude that's helping him energetically, and for some it's also happening in the 3D world when they can talk to one another. But it's this beautiful energy, this essence, this floatiness of that song. You know, that song is very do 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 do. You know, if you've ever heard a flute playing, it's kind of like, you know, you could ride on the flute, you could ride on that musical instrument, on the notes of it. And so her essence brings this musical tonality to him. It makes him feel safe, it makes him feel grounded, and now his passion, his want is to create as much resource and stability as he possibly can so he can come to her. He's very drawn to her in a sexual way as well. You know, he wants to be within her. He wants to, you know, take gender how it resonates, of course, but it's It's this joining of souls energy. Many people don't realize that, you know, when they have sexual relations with other people in the 3D world, that they're simply, as we say in Australia, you know, they're bumping uglies together, bumping their ugly parts together. It's a bit of a joke, but if you're bumping uglies, it means, you know, you had sex. And this is quite an old-fashioned saying, but it's, you know, basically it's just a means to an end. You know, it's just so that you can have an orgasm. But in the twin flame journey, it's this kundalini rising, it's this fire, it's this passion. It goes throughout the whole body. You know, the sex isn't just so that there's a release with twin flames. It's a joining of souls. Okay, a rejoining of souls, I should say, a rejoining of souls. Even though you are the same soul, but you know what I mean. It's that coming together of the souls and uniting, and it's not about the end result. It's not about the orgasm. It's about the feeling of being united and in union together. So I think that we've got enough messages for today. I just want to tell you that if you're struggling as a divine feminine, know that your twin flame is very much in love with you, and also they're very much trying to prove themselves in a 3D kind of way. They don't want to come to you with nothing. They don't want to, I don't know, let's say they have to catch a boat and come and see you eventually. You know, they don't want to end up on your doorstep with nothing. They don't want to have nothing to offer you in the physical world. They want to, you know, make a life for you, make a home for you. And of course that does take, you know, resources and money and time. So sometimes the block to union can simply be that the masculine, for right now, many masculines are just trying to make as much money as they can, collect enough resources as they can, so that when they do come to you, they come to you with pride. And it's a beautiful kind of pride. It's not an ego-filled pride. It's just that they want to adorn you with their blessing. And for them, money is kind of, you know, attached to love, because how else do you show someone you love them? You know, you need, if you want to take them out to dinner, it's going to cost money. If you want to give them flowers, it's going to cost money. If you want to live with them, that's also going to cost money. So it's not in a materialistic way. It's in a practical, beautiful way that they want to say, well, you know, I don't know, I've got another song being channeled, you know, I just called to say I love you, do, 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 I just called to say. So there might be a call coming through, okay, but it's this, you know, when I do call, when I do even come around, when I, you know, can physically be there with you, I want to have flowers in my hand. I want to offer you something. Maybe it's a ring, maybe it's some jewelry, maybe, you know, it's just a token of my affection that says I belong to you and you belong to me. So I'm going to end the channeling here, and look up those songs if you want to. The one from Jesus Christ Superstar is called, I think it's called Everything's Alright. And the one that I was just singing then, I believe, is from, is it Lionel Richie? I just called to say I love you. Beautiful songs coming through there. Of course, I haven't warmed up. I know you're going to be looking for my album in the description box, but I haven't made it yet. I love you all so much, and I'm sending you beautiful sunshine and rainbows wherever you are in the world. And I hope you have a beautiful day, night, afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are. And I'll talk to you real soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.